Always.
Squatch America, it's wild. Bigfoot tales make you smile. Grab your gear, it's time to go. On the hunt with our live show.
Hello, Bigfoot enthusiast. Scott here from Squatch America.
And Hannah, domestic goddess, chief cook, and doggy mama in the paddy wagon tonight.
And Hannah's pointing at stuff. Okay. I guess we're not live on X tonight. Some feed went, boo.
Now you've got a weird thing up there.
I know.
Save changes.
Okay.
All right, here we are, fully present, fully ready to go with this show.
Hi. All right. Hi, Scott and Michelle and Stacy and
Danny was here but not here. We got Renee and Paul from Cloudcroft and Lee. Hello, all of y'alls.
Hi. So, what's happening? We're still in Texas. It's raining. We survived the snow apocalypse in Texas.
Without any snow, but there may as well have been. It was so freaking
Cold. Yeah.
Anyway, we actually burned through our propane, which is not, I mean, that's why we come to Texas, so we don't burn through the propane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hey, Janice, and hey, Pappy and Raptor. By the way, give Pappy a little confetti shout out, please.
Oh, yeah. I got to push the buttons. I don't know what I'm doing here.
That's about normal. Member on Patreon, and we are so grateful. Remember, all the Patreon stuff, you know, that money goes straight into the pockets of the Fallen Outdoors, and it helps us have resources so that when we get the opportunity to take vets out, we can.
Yeah.
It has been a little bit hard to do that lately.
Yeah, but I just like 2 days ago signed our new contract with the Fallen Outdoors, and now we got to do 3 outings with veterans this year. So,
okay. So Lee, let's set something up for Wisconsin.
There you go. While we're there, we can take it out for a weekend.
Stuff in New England.
Yeah,
and then we can
Lee, if you can come up with a spot, and I know Michael, if from Maine, if you're watching, you know, maybe you can find a place we could go out
in the North Maine woods
for the weekend, or Dale or Denise, if you know a place we could go out for a weekend and take some vets. And then we're going to do another one probably in the Pacific Northwest when we get back there.
Late this year.
Late this year, like in the fall.
So, anyway.
So, are we ready to get started?
I think we probably should.
We probably should. And I got to find the button. All right, so
I'd love to get something right.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't it be fun if they all watched us get something right?
That'd be a
Squatch America's gonna get it right, or something.
I didn't write that. Anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about: do you think Bigfoot migrates? Now, I've been plotting maps for a long time. Oh gosh, since about 2016, 2015. When did I start my map on the wall?
I think we figured that actually you started that out in the old house. So that would have been 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
So that's 10 years, 11 years. Oh my gosh, I've been putting pins in maps. This is getting crazy. I'm old. Anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about what I think the Bigfoot migration is, and we can let you guys in the chat let us know what you think of Bigfoot migrates. But what we want to do is I'm going to show you some videos that were sent to us, and these are all stuff that I investigated. So this is stuff where we were on site doing the investigations. So this isn't something that just somebody sent me and we didn't know. So all these videos, I'm going to show you the ones where I have actually been on site and witnessed these things myself. So
Have you taken a breath at all since you started talking?
no, what's wrong with me?
Take a breath and let's talk with the people in the chat.
Okay.
Lee wants some clarification about your last video.
Okay.
She said the great, oh Lord, I can't read today. The Great
The Great Pyramids in Cairo has 8 sides.
Did you mean to say the pictograph in Washington was 6-sided as opposed to 4?
It was 4-sided. I didn't mean to say it was 6-sided.
It's got a square base.
A square base, and it goes into a point. Yeah. So it's 4-sided. So maybe I misspoke when I was talking. I've never done that before. No. I might have been mistaken. I might have been wrong, but I was mistaken.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? I'm gonna own this a little bit. It is after dark now, and I don't know about any of y'all, but I'm at that age where once the sun goes down, my brain just stops, and my ability to English is so compromised.
Okay.
So
anyway, Lee says, as most everything, I believe Sasquatch migrates.
God said they follow the food.
That says they follow the food. So
Paul is just laughing at us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Lucy would not have been happy if people weren't laughing, and neither am I. All right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip up the presentation really quick, and I'm going to show you, I think, 4 videos, and I'm not going to say a whole lot about them, but I'm going to show you like 4 quick videos. I think there's 4. Might have been 3. I don't know.
He's going to show you some videos.
I'm going to show you some videos. There's 4. Okay, and I'm going to be talking about and like I said, this is stuff that we have investigated. So here we go. Oh, wait, I got to flip the button. Boop.
Then you have to say boop while you do it.
Yes, it's a necessity.
They just take off across the field. You can see them out there. Widely spaced, probably about 7 or 8 feet apart. Yeah. Tell me what that is. I'm gonna go over and stand by it in a minute. Hang on. Well, I just fell off the ladder.
That was hilarious.
All right, and here's the next one.
If the toes in there so they can see them. Look, you can see them. Look how big that toe is. That's a knocking on some trees and had walked quite far back on a road in the snow. And at that point, I found some footprints that had toes, and they were about that big and that deep in the snow. And so that was kind of interesting since we were in the middle of nowhere. And it was late at night, peaceful, quiet, beautiful crisp winter night in January. And then we, at the same time, we're looking up at a tree that was kind of up on a knoll, and something very quickly went boop, that fast behind a tree. I don't know what it was. It was very strange. It scared both of us. And we looked at each other and I'm like, "Did you see that?" And she's like, "Yep." And I said, "I saw that." And I immediately.
Here's this structure. Get inside this thing. It's actually a pretty cool look. It's kind of strange, all the stuff on it. All green. Green. And this stuff was piled on there on purpose. You can tell by just looking at it. See inside it there again. Little compartment. I don't know. I know this thing wasn't here last fall when I was up here archery hunting. And quite obvious these things were laid in place on purpose, just the way they are. With green boughs, still green, cover everything up.
All righty.
Sorry about that echo.
Yeah, I forgot to turn our mics off while we were doing this.
He's going to force me to start wearing headphones.
Yeah.
I hate headphones so much. Ugh. I suck at YouTubing.
Yeah. So anyway, the reason I showed you those 4, and like I said, this is stuff we were on location and investigated. Every single one of these things was in the winter in snow. I know there was no snow on the last one, that nest thing, but when he was hunting in that area, and that was
mushrooming.
was hunting in October, and it wasn't there. This is this guy's hunting area. He's a Umatilla native from the Umatilla reservation, and that's his hunting grounds. And so he hunts there in October, and then when he found it, it was in early spring because he was mushrooming. And if you mushroom in Oregon, and maybe everywhere else, you follow the snow as it melts. The mushrooms pop up on the edge of the snow line as it melts up the hill.
And if you were paying attention, you will have recognized that structure as what we later identified as probably a crib.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. So this took place in the winter that was built. So if we're going to talk about migration, things typically migrate out of winter. Birds fly south. Animals come down off the mountain, go down into the valleys and lower elevations in the winter. They don't stay up in the high country. I'll have to say that the one lady talking, when she's talking about the footprints and the green jacket lady, that was in Leavenworth, Washington.
He said Washington and not Washington.
Oh, that was in Leavenworth. So, and all these, I want to say is up around the elevation of 5,000 feet, and we'll get to that later.
Okay, we have some things in the chat.
Okay.
Gordon would like to ask.
This one?
Yes, that one. Have you encountered any possible proof that the big guys make a cache of food for the winter months?
I'll have to say absolutely. We found also in the winter, this is the one that was early in my Bigfooting career. A gal up in a place called Oxbow, or not Oxbow, but Cornucopia, Oregon, which is way up in the mountains. I mean, way up in the mountains. It's pushing 8,000 feet. And their winters are severe. They get a ton of snow up there. And it's just the way it's situated. It's not too far from a place called Hell's Canyon. And we found deer stacked on top of each other in trees.
10 feet up.
10 feet up in the winter. Like dead deer with no bullet holes in them, no nothing, stacked on top of each other in a tree on a limb, 8 foot up, on limbs sticking out, and they were sitting on top. So I think they do. I think they used that as a freezer because it was wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Doug.
So Pyro says that would self-convert to an igloo. The structure would self-convert to an igloo with the right snowpack.
Right, exactly. And that would absolutely do that.
And that would actually keep a baby warm.
Yep. A lot of people like, if you've been, in fact, pay attention to our Monday shows. If you've been keeping up with those, we're doing a survival thing. And one of the survival things I'm going to talk about in the future here in the winter is we used to dig snow caves just big enough to fit our bodies in. Because if it's 0 degrees outside or minus 16 outside, inside that cave is the temperature of ice, which is 32 degrees. So anything inside under the snow is 32 degrees. It actually insulates you from the severe cold outside. Just a
You
little
need a drink
tip.
of water here.
I got my coffee here.
Well, take a drink.
Why am I getting? I'm getting hoarse tonight. I haven't talked so much. So anyway, we're going to get into a little presentation here.
Here it comes, Dr. Scott.
Yeah. Not really. Okay. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is this is Oregon, the state I grew up in, and where we have done a ton of squatching in. This here is I'm going to show you something very interesting about migration, especially in the state of Oregon. A lot of people don't realize this. There are 3 mountain ranges in Oregon. There's the Blue Mountains, which is right here. There's the Cascade Mountains, which is right here. And then there's the Oregon, what they call the Coastal Range right here. Now, these ones get up around 5,000 feet down here by the California border. These are pretty much over 5,000 all the way down them.
Like you're looking at more like 9,000-10,000 feet there.
Yeah, because you've got up here what Mount Hood volcano. There's Mount Thielsen down somewhere in here.
Keep going north into Washington, you hit Mount St.
Helens and Mount Rainier as it goes up into Washington.
Mount Adams.
And Mount Adams, those are all volcanoes. You got Mount Thielsen down here, and then if you go further just across the border here, you got Mount Shasta, which is another volcano. So this is a volcanic range right here, and it's pretty high up. And then you've got the Blue Mountains, which run diagonally across the state. And a lot of people don't realize this, but the Blue Mountains go through the tip of Oregon up here, across the panhandle of Idaho, and into Montana.
Where they hook up.
Where they connect to, the Rocky Mountains, which run up and down, the center of the states. So if I was going to come and stay above 5,000 feet and I was going to walk from Canada, I would go down the Rocky Mountains. I would walk straight across the Blue Mountains. I'd connect with the Cascades right here, and I'd walk straight down the Cascades all the way into California. And a little known fact, right down here at the bottom, just about, I think 20 miles south of the border, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit further. I might be off. Don't crucify me. But, oh, Scott said Mount Scott there too. Don't forget there's a Mount Scott in there. Yeah. But this, where I got the dot here in California, a little further south of that is where the Patterson-Gimlin film was filmed.
Bluff Creek.
Bluff Creek is right there. So all these converge right on Bluff Creek down here. But what we're going to be talking about mostly today is this area here where I've got most of my pins in my maps. Is you've got the Blue Mountains up here. You've got the Elkhorn Mountains in the middle right here.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes into what's called the Ochoco Mountains, which are down in here.
Which is where the infamous first season of Expedition Bigfoot was fakely filmed.
Yeah. Expedition's first season was filmed right here. I know, because I was there. So there's that. So we're going to concentrate on the upper corner here where I'm from. So it gives me some stuff. Now here is places that I have and dates.
Before you continue, We said it's the Oregon Bigfoot,
Bigfoot Highway.
Not really.
Well, kind of, sort of. Well,
It is a
definitely
highway.
a highway. Yeah, but I want to back this up. If you ever read the Oregon Bigfoot Highway book, that Bigfoot Highway is right somewhere in here, right up in here. And we have investigated the highway more than once. So, so I'm going to jump ahead here. I don't know if it can you read that? Okay. It's kind of small.
2018.
In 2016.
Oh my gosh.
In 2016.
Yeah, I have to do the old lady.
In 2016, that video I showed you about the guy who fell off the roof after seeing the Bigfoot tracks going through his yard. So I'm going to go into that a little bit. Those Bigfoot tracks, he was filming them from up the ladder off his roof, and then we went to climb down the ladder and he fell in the snow. Don't worry, he's fine. He landed in 6 feet of snow. But those tracks were 16 inches long, but they were deep in the snow and they had been snowed over, so roughly 16 inches long. They were 5 feet apart at the narrowest, and further other place. We tracked that. It went through his yard, stepped over a fence, went through a cow pasture, stepped over another fence, and then went up a hill that we weren't going to go up because I was done trekking in 6 feet of snow. If you ever, walked for a half a mile in 6 feet of snow, it's exhausting. So anyway, so that was that particular one I showed you. The next one here was in 2017. This is about where you saw the kids with the footprints talking. This one here was in 2018. That's where I had my sighting early spring, and I think that was
it's actually late spring.
Late spring. Oh wait, I was wrong. Okay, this one up here was where I found a footprint above 5,000 feet. Early spring, the snow snow was still on the ground. This one here is where I had
your sighting.
My sighting. This one here is where the kids were. This is in 2019, where the kids were with those footprints in the snow on Mount Emily. And this one here is where we had
that was our granite. That was in granite, right?
No, this would have been Unity, where that.
Then that was 2022.
That was 2022.
Granite was 2023.
Okay. So I want to show you something very interesting. Now, all these were in the winter or early flipping spring when snow was still on the ground. All these are over 5,000 feet. And they're a year apart. So if we got Bigfoot sightings here in 2016, 60 miles this way, we've got Bigfoot the next year in 2017. 60 miles this way, we've got Bigfoot reports the next year.
You have an isosceles triangle.
Yeah, call it the Bigfoot triangle. But yeah, the Oregon Triangle. Yeah, this right here is... Don't
go in there. You'll disappear into a portal.
So this valley here is you got the Grand Ronde Valley over here and then Baker Valley here.
You didn't even laugh at my joke.
Huh, okay, sorry. Okay.
But we probably want to stop, take a breath, for you to get a drink, and for us to show you some stuff that you probably need to buy now.
Yeah. At Squatch America, we're not just searching for Bigfoot. We are giving back to those who serve. Every donation through YouTube and Patreon helps us to support the Fallen Outdoors, a veterans-led organization who takes heroes out hunting, fishing, and camping. But that's not all. We take veterans on real Bigfoot research expeditions, where they can enjoy the great outdoors and maybe, just maybe, discover something legendary. Join us in giving back. Support Squatch America today for the adventure, for the veterans, and for the wild. All right, just a reminder that if you're joining us on Patreon or YouTube, your monthly donations to us go to help veterans. Just letting you know, that's what we use to help reduce that 22
unalives a day.
Unalives a day with veterans.
All right. So Henry said that he just filled out the form to give us his 2 sightings. We will look for that in our email.
All right, we will. That'll pop up in my email and I'll get right with you.
Why don't you explain that link you just threw up?
All right, we just threw a link in there to our Amazon shop. And
we would love to show you this. You could probably go online and pull it up and share your screen.
I probably could do that.
So while you're doing that, hello everyone, how are you doing? So this Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Mountain time, 10 a.m. Central time, and 11 a.m. Eastern time, I will be live myself, not here on YouTube. So if you're only on YouTube, sorry, sucks to be you. But I will be going live in the Wild Squatches Facebook group just to have a live chat with the Wild Squatches. And what is a Wild Squatch, you asked? Well, it is that highest, most natural self that we all have within us. And if you are a member of the Wild Squatches group, which is public, so if you're not, go on to Facebook and look at the Wild Squatches and just join the group. We're just going to be talking about Wild Squatch Wellness, why we started it, how it came to be, what our vision is for it, and what you guys want to see in a Bigfoot-themed wellness community, because that's what it is. No, there is no, we're not going to talk about the leaf. That's not our thing. But anyway, that is this Saturday morning, and I hope to be doing that pretty regularly. Okay. That's way easier than trying to put something up on YouTube for me.
All right. And so if you're following us on Mondays, or I'm dropping a bushcraft, I call it Bigfoot Bushcraft, where we're taking wilderness survival. And I started doing this because just a few months ago, 2 gentlemen in the state of Washington lost their lives when they went out Bigfooting. They got lost and they froze to death.
We had people asking us if we were okay after that story.
Yeah, we did. Like, yeah. So
I can't imagine anyone I'd rather be stuck with if we were in a survival situation. He would keep me alive whether I wanted to or not.
Yeah. So
let's show them what we got.
So what I did is every Monday we're doing a video. Next week the video is going to drop and show you how to build a quick easy shelter, and it's all basic stuff. And if you want to know why I know this stuff, is because I was in the infantry in the military. We did a lot of wilderness survival stuff just generally every day, but I have survived. I've learned how to survive in swamps, in snow, in like forests of the Northwest, and in deserts. In fact, I spent a year and a half surviving in the desert in Iraq. But so I've been to the SEER course, that's a survival course through the military. I've been doing this for a long time. I grew up doing this. And so what we did is we started those videos, and the products you see me use in the videos is on this Amazon store page. So if you buy stuff through this link right here, we get a little bit of a cut for it. And then if you go down to the bottom of the page here where it says continue shopping from Squatch America, if you just click this link, go here and then click this link, anything you buy on,
show them, click on it.
Anything you buy on Amazon,
you could buy deodorant.
you could buy whatever.
You,
Yeah.
yeah, you could buy
Whatever you buy on
a near
Amazon.
infrared light to get to me.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
So if you click this, anything you buy that, through this link, no matter what it is on Amazon, we get a small cut.
Yeah,
So.
and it doesn't cost you anymore. That's a really, let's face it, we all buy crap from Amazon. You don't get to use that new meme on me.
Okay.
We all buy
What new meme?
We all buy crap on Amazon, whether we like them or approve of them or not. I am a high disapprover, but the sad fact of the matter is Amazon's like the easiest place to get stuff quick.
Watch your profanity.
Okay.
Anyway, so as long as we're all shopping at Amazon, y'all may as well go through our store, and every time you buy that, 5,200 pack of Sharpie markers, we'll get 4 cents off of it.
Yep.
So
now back to the presentation.
let's see what we got. Oh, Lee said she slayed it in survival school.
Yeah, awesome.
She's been to the
U.S.
the Air Force Survival School in Washington.
Oh, I'm sorry. The Chair Force.
Anyway, hello to Daniel. All right.
All right.
So Janice says, let's have some
Okay.
conversation here, because you've just been yakety yakking. So a well-known Bigfooter was just talking about migration last weekend. She went to Squatch Fest. His thoughts are that they do not migrate because they tend to stay in familiar areas to keep from being seen while migrating. What are our thoughts on that?
Okay, we're actually going to get to that. That's going to be my whole point later. So
Kind of depends on how you define the word migrate.
Yep, it is. So
here we go. I get to read something.
All right. So here's kind of something. Go, Hannah.
When animals migrate to different areas in different years, it's often referred to as irregular migration or nomadic migration. This behavior typically occurs when migration patterns are not consistent year to year and are influenced by factors such as food availability, environmental conditions, or population dynamics that did not help. Examples include some bird species and mammals like caribou, which may shift their routes based on changing resources.
There we go. So are these migrations actual, what we call migrations? Or are they? Dun, dun, dun.
Do you have another read slide?
Oh, this is an elevation map. I was going to show you the elevation, but we already talked about that. All these areas are actually over 5,000 feet. So that was that.
All right. So now you were going to talk about, so we've got that migration slide, or is it what?
Or is it rotating crops? Now, it's kind of an interesting thought. Are they
migrating?
Are they not migrating? They are going to different, well, I guess you would call it some kind of migration, but or is it natural succession, which is a thing that animals do, or when things naturally, they move from area to area every year to deplete the resource.
There we are.
There we are. So the interwebs went crazy for a second. So are they moving to different areas not to deplete the resources? In other words, I'm going to pick all the huckleberry bushes in this area this year. Next year, we go to our next area that we pick all the huckleberries from. And the year after that, we go to this area. They're going to familiar areas. Yes, areas that they have been to, areas they know. They're basically like us in our camper. We go to certain RV parks that we've been to before because we like them. Yes. So we go from park to park to park. just because we like that area. So
And that area usually has a really nice grocery store and a good coffee shop.
yeah,
Resources.
So
So here's an example. Let me help. So when back in our younger days, we adopted a young man from they don't have a country, but he was from Thailand. He was born in a Hmong refugee camp in Thailand, and his family were Hmong refugees. And so we learned a lot about the Hmong culture. If you don't know anything about the Hmong culture, Hmong, you want to look it up because it's a fascinating culture. But they are what is called that culture, and this is gonna. I'm sure it's gonna offend some screaming Mimi out there,
yeah.
but it's true. They're known as a parasitic culture because when they move into an area, they don't assimilate into that culture and become a productive part of it. They do three basic things. They fish, they hunt, and there was one more thing. They fish, they hunt, and they farm. And they do that until they have stripped every resource in the area. And then they leave and they go strip the resources in another. And that's just how their culture has existed for thousands of years. What we are proposing is that based on what we've observed, this is not proof. This is based on what we've observed. If you're waiting for proof, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Based on our observations, what we are seeing is non-parasitic behavior, because just like a good farmer rotates his crops so that they don't deplete the soil of its nutrients, they are rotating their location, which gives nature a time to replenish rather than being harvested year after year after year. Evidence suggests. Yeah.
Evidence,
So
yeah.
prima facie, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
There's my old court language.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So what I think they're doing is they're rotating crops.
They're rotating their yeah, they are
They're basically rotating crops like farmers rotate crops.
Crops,
Crops, due to their location. So they're not migrating, down the mountain in the wintertime. What they are is they're migrating from crop to crop. So this area will be winter falled for 2 years in our case. So they're in this area for a year. They're in this area for another year. In fact, it could be even 4 years. I know, and some of my dates and my pins seem to suggest that there's a four-year rotation.
And because they know each of those areas so very well, they know how to get there without being seen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you understand the power of something, well, we see this in animals too, but as they're doing this, the offspring are learning to do it as well. And so, they're never really learning from scratch. Sasquatch can't pronounce R's, so they're clops.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Octavus.
And Lee, there are a lot of Hmong in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Actually, our adopted son now lives with his biological family in Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Yep.
Minnesota.
Yep. So
Lee says we are not nomadic migrationers anyway. Oh, we're kind of hybrids.
Yeah.
It is so hard to get him to go on a real adventure because he doesn't know what he orders when he doesn't know what he gets when he go there. It's true. I said, can we try a new restaurant? Well, I don't know
when I get there. So
anyway, that was that.
That was that. So yeah, so what I think they're doing is it's not so much a migration, it's a rotation of crops. They're
not stripping the area.
They're not stripping the area. They're farming. Primitive style farming, gathering.
Yeah, foraging and gathering.
Yes, but they're doing it in a way that makes sense.
Which means that they understand how nature works. Which means there is probably, that suggests more than just raw instinct. Get the patty melt. It's safe every time. It's actually one of his strategies to get the patty melt.
Yeah.
But that
Or the
would
chicken fried steak.
that would actually suggest to me that they have a higher degree of consciousness and awareness than your average, say, black bear does.
On Fort Bragg, huh? I've been to Fort Bragg. I haven't spent any time there, but I spent most of my time in Fort Benning, Georgia. I'm not calling it by the other names, or Fort Bragg by the other name. So anyway,
Mount McKinley has been and always will be Mount McKinley.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. Get the patty melt. Yeah.
I told you, get the patty melt.
Yeah.
That's a strategy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could be going to the same restaurant for 15 years and I'll get something different every time.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I run out of new things to try, it's like I'm bored.
Yeah.
Let's go somewhere else. And then Scott says, well, I don't know what I get when we go there.
Okay. So I'm going to throw something else in to this mix. What time?
It's 20 till.
20. Okay. I'm going to throw something else into the mix here. Is if you're looking at the maps, I can't switch the maps, but I can show the map. Here, we've got these extra areas that are kind of out of the pattern of
like what says 2023, but should be 2022.
Yeah, are kind of out of the pattern. And I always thought about that. I thought about, why are these two extra places kind of out of place? And there's something that's struck me. Fires. The area that says 2019 there, or 2019 had a fire. The year after that. So it takes some time for these areas to become productive again. So, for example, in Mount St. Helens, when it erupted, within months, after it laid waste to the land.
Oh, and it was pretty wasted.
It was wasted.
I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah.
I lived through it. I drove through it.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
She was there on the day. Okay. But within months, the first things come back, and that's like fireweed, some mosses, and lupins or lupines, however you pronounce it. It's lupine or
They're
lupins.
Beautiful flowers.
My mom always called them lupins. But so they come first, and what those do is those will stabilize the dirt. They'll keep stuff from eroding. So those always came back within the first few months, actually, and then after that, small shrubs, small trees, willows, alders, huckleberries started growing after the mosses and the fireweed and the lupine had replenished the dirt. And then that was in the next decade. That was about 10 years. Those came back. And then after the next 10 years after that, you started getting the Douglas fir, the hemlock trees started coming back, and then you've got the forest back.
And so, you know what's amazing? Because I was a local girl.
Mm-hmm.
So when the mountain blew, one of the hallmarks of Washington State, those of you who are from Washington know this, one of the hallmarks of Washington State was Spirit Lake at the base of Mount St. Helens, right? And when that mountain blew, it took out the lake. I mean, it took out that whole part of the state. And what was phenomenal to me is that within 20 years, you would never have known there was an eruption.
Yep.
Everything was restored in a matter of 20 years or less. Scientists thought it would take tens of thousands of years for the Earth to heal itself. But once again, Mama Nature proved us all wrong. God bless her. She's the best.
Yep. So, so in these areas where the fires happen, it takes 2 or 3 years. It doesn't take hundreds, but you know, if it's a devastating fire where everything's on the ground, it takes about 10 years or so for stuff to come back. But if it's just lighter fires where some of the trees are still standing, it'll take 3 or 4 years and things are back. So, you know, when you get like when I talked about the small shrubs like the willows, alders, and the huckleberries coming back, well, that's also when the small animals come back. You get, you know, mice, birds, chipmunks, gophers, you know, badgers, all the smaller animals come back within the first 10 years. And then after that, after when the big trees start coming back, you'll get the elk and the black bear and the cougars and all the other stuff will come back. So what I was thinking in my map here, the reason that some of these were out of order or
off kilter a bit
is because there was fires in those areas.
So they had to go somewhere else.
Henry
says that he was seeing
choke points. Yeah, I see the choke points, what you're talking to. And that's very true. It's very interesting too. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's throw that one up there. Is that what happens sometimes is there is choke points. There is places where they're going to have to go through valleys and openings to get there. Not a lot of them. Let's see if I can put this back up here. Where's the PowerPoint buttons? This one. Okay. So can you see? Yeah. Okay. So this one here is kind of interesting. So if they go from here to here, there is kind of an opening you got to cross. But if you go down this river and you cross this river through here, this is the Mina mountain range, which is humongous.
And highly almost impassable except for the truly stalwart.
Right. There has been sightings of people seeing them cross the highway here, but you can also go around this whole mountain range here and get to there. That's not a problem. There's nothing up here. Trust me, just miles of forest. But to get from here to here, there's this big wide open Baker Valley. But if you go down here, you can cross this mountain range and go straight into here without crossing nothing but one freeway that goes through right there. And that's in a place called Burnt River Canyon.
And there are a lot of sightings there.
There are a ton of sightings in Burnt River Canyon right there. In fact, there's a rest area where people have seen we've had 2 or 3 reports of people from that rest area, which is right down in here. What's the name of that rest area? Weatherby Rest Area on Freeway 84 in Burnt River Canyon, right down here.
We have stopped there to pee many times.
We have been there many times. In fact, I even did a Bigfoot report standing inside the bathroom once, but I didn't air it because it was kind of weird. But anyway,
I think it would probably go viral. Bigfoot in the bathroom.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should he even know where that video is?
I don't know. But anyway, so if you go down here, there is a ton of reports of seeing this choke point right here where they have to go through. And it's always at night. They'll cross the freeway. And then they can get back up into this area. So this is basically a big ass circle.
Oh, you need to play your thing now.
What? Oh, because I said.
You said a naughty.
I said You're so
You said a naughty.
Watch your profanity. Watch your profanity.
Okay. All right. So, what do you folks think in the chat?
We've got a lot going on. Come on, get up there. Push the button. Watch her at the choke point. Highway 3.
Highway 3. That must
So-
be over by Scott.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pyro said if it's not a huge fire, deer will be eating smoking acorns a few hours later. I wonder if those are like popcorn.
Yeah, they might be. Yeah, that's true.
I wonder if that makes them taste better than pemmican.
Yeah, could be.
Because pemmican is some nasty stuff. Ugh.
So,
But that's made out of mash. That's acorn mash. It's not. It's boiled, right?
well, the Miwoks use acorns, and I spent a lot of time with them. But they have a whole process. They grind them. They don't roast them. They grind them, and then they soak them in water and leach out all the tannic acids out of them, and then they make like these little loaves of bread with other seeds and berries and stuff in them.
It's like Dave's bread.
It's like, yeah, Dave's bread.
Okay, Pappy asked, do any of the highways have wildlife crossing tunnels or overpasses that we've checked in the winter?
Ooh, there are none of the ones that are in Eastern Oregon doesn't have any of those wildlife crossing. I know there's some in Bend.
I think so, yeah.
There's some of those wildlife underpasses. But these areas up here, we do not have any of those. There are some rivers, though, with bridges over them. You can cross through the river and walk under mine. In fact, in that canyon over here.
Scott said Highway 3 that drops down into Enterprise.
Oh.
That's
Highway
up
3.
By that's by the...
Is that the Minam Highway? That goes to Lostine and Joseph and that Renee. Am I crazy? Is that Highway 3? I never knew what highway that was. That highway is actually right here. Then, because you go through 84, goes here and it goes over the mountains into Pendleton, and then there's a highway that goes through here, goes to LeGrand, and then you can go over to Pendleton through this highway up here. And then there's another highway that goes around here and just kind of dead ends. Are we back?
Well, it says we're still streaming.
Okay. All
okay.
right.
Well, we probably need to end sooner rather than later because
oh, now it's not sharing my screen anymore. So
we probably need to end sooner rather than later because the internet keeps dumping us.
I don't know what's going on tonight.
So we are back, Charles. Sorry.
Yeah.
So why don't we just stop rambling? Pyro said, I thought game cams proved those Animal Crossings were a waste of money. Once again, people
probably
trying
true.
to help nature out.
Yeah.
Never a good idea.
All right. So
All right,
Renee says we're back.
Yes. So.
Oh. Are we back? Okay.
Yeah, we are back.
All right.
So why don't we call it a night?
What?
Because it's going to dump us again.
You don't know that.
Oh, I do.
I got to get Henry's comment down. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. All right. That's weird. It dumped us clear out of the program.
We had to go back into StreamYard.
Are we here?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't go.
So
He's
yeah,
just gonna keep rambling.
We got 7 minutes. What do you guys want to talk about? Okay, so that's my presentation on what I think they're migrating. They're not migrating. They're rotating crops. And that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, why don't we show them the Starlink ad?
Okay.
And then we'll tell them about our latest sponsor.
Our latest sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah wants to do that. Okay, so here we go. If you need internet.
Imagine having high-speed internet no matter where you are. With Starlink, that dream is now reality. No more buffering, lag, or limited access. Starlink connects you to ultra-fast, reliable internet anywhere on Earth. From seamless streaming to intense gaming and productivity, Starlink empowers you to do it all. And here's the best part. Sign up using our exclusive link and get your first month free. Don't miss out on the future of internet. Click the link in our description to get started today. Starlink, revolutionizing internet, one connection at a time. Join now. Okay, there's a caveat there. We'll say about 99.5% of the time, perfect internet.
Yeah.
And then there are nights like tonight.
Well, we did have a thunderstorm today, so
Yeah.
it's
okay.
There's a storm right now. I don't know how well that affects it.
All right. So Henry Pyro said there was only a 5-second break on there, and Henry says he thinks he was imprinted on by a Bigfoot. You know what? Being as they are mammals and primates, it does not surprise me at all.
There's an old famous dude who was a Bigfooter back in the day. His name just left my brain. It's a weird name. Carson Washington.
Datus
Perry.
He's your favorite.
I know, he's my favorite. His name just left my brain for some reason. Datus Perry actually believed that he had a female Bigfoot imprinted on him too, because he had a mining cabin he would go up to, and every night he said he would see this female Bigfoot back in the trees, watching his cabin at night. And he said he was afraid to go out there because he didn't know her intentions with him. So
we know her intentions.
Yeah. Why is the 5,000 foot important? I'll tell you why I believe the 5,000 foot thing is important. That's what Lee asked.
Yes.
The 5,000 foot thing is, in my mind, is kind of important because a lot of camping, fishing, hiking all takes place below that.
Yeah.
Most people go to campgrounds and the fishing recreation and stuff like that. If you're going to be fishing and hunting, everything's usually below that. So basically they're staying above the people.
Yep. And Raptor did suggest, are they moving around maybe a 200-mile range? He doesn't think that's too far-fetched.
No, I don't think 200 miles is not too far-fetched. I mean, in my circles on my map that I showed, those were 60 miles apart, but those are 60 miles up and down freaking mountains. So it could be like 200 miles of hiking to get that 60 miles in distance,
Yeah.
So that's not too far at all.
Yeah, and remember, with strides that could be anywhere from 5 to 7 feet, it doesn't take them long.
Christy Leslie died.
She was a great researcher.
She was a researcher.
Well,
I mean, I know the name. I didn't know her, but
yeah,
we'll have to look into that, because this Friday, the video dropping in a couple days here is a tribute to Henry Franzoni. He was an inspiration to me in his mapping and stuff in the Bigfoot world.
All right. So have we successfully eaten that up? I don't want us to get dumped off again.
Hannah's scared of being dumped on the interwebs. Did she just roll her eyes?
Loudly.
And just loudly rolled her eyes. Oh my gosh.
Do you have a funny thing? Oh, there it is.
What?
Oh.
What?
I don't know. I thought you were going to pull up the Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, no. But it's
emotional damage.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Charles said, R.I.P. Henry Franzoni. He liked his work. Do you know where to find it for free? Find Henry Franzoni's work?
Yeah, he had a book called oh my gosh, I just did a whole story on it. Something Seco. I forgot what it's called, but on my video that's going to drop Friday, there'll be a link in there. You can find his book. You can't buy the book, but I think you can get it for free. Actually, like a PDF file for free from Amazon. You might look that up. Look up something Asico. Gosh.
Or wait till Friday.
Or wait till Friday and hit the link.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to Amazon. You can get his book. I think it's not a PDF version, but it's the Kindle version, and I think it's free.
Yeah. So Pyro, I am not scared of lightning and thunder. Actually, I hate it when people are inconvenienced by internet drops. But Daisy is terrified of lightning and thunder.
Yeah, our dog doesn't do that well. So thank you all for being with us tonight. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and do all that wonderful button pushing stuff.
Speaking of button pushing, you're totally in the wrong area.
Yes, I am.
Remember that our job is to investigate the unexplained.
Not to explain the uninvestigated.
So actually, like this video, go back through all 500 and some of our videos and like all of them. Because did you know that liking and view time is even more important than subscriptions?
It is.
So like and view and like and view and like and view and share with your friends so they can like and view and like and view and like and view. And pretty soon we will blow up YouTube. Woohoo, in the very best way. So with that, till next week, you keep watching.
We'll keep squatching.
Now, go out and find Big.
That damn Sasquatch.
They're squatching, they're searching, they're cracking some jokes. It's Scott